If you're above the age of 55 years old and you want to control your blood pressure, is it possible? Is it too late? The answer, unfortunately, might be yes. However, the reality is it's never too late to improve. If you're on 5 or 6 different blood pressure medications, it may not be possible to totally get off all of them. It depends on your lifestyle. If you've been smoking since the age of 10, if you're John Cougar Mellencamp or something like that, and you just don't eat healthy and you've never eaten healthy for your entire life, it's hard to reverse over 55 years of damage. However, there's always hope. There's always room for improvement. So if you are feeling crappy and you are on 6 different blood pressure medications, is it possible to get on only 3? The answer is yes, and I'm going to tell you exactly the game plan in this video of how to do it. So it's a 3-step process, by the way. And the first one, we're going to start with stress. And the reason why we're going to start with stress is because this is one of the most overlooked. Everybody knows you're supposed to stop smoking. Everybody knows you're supposed to eat right. But let's discuss the things that you probably are not readily familiar with that have a major impact on your stress. Now, stress is it's a tremendous factor because it simply raises your blood pressure, especially the systolic, and it does it chronically. And when we have stress, mental stress, physical stress, our cortisol levels rise, our body just feels like crap, and you're under this constant bombardment of chemical irritation that damages your arteries and allows those arteries to get stiff. And if you can learn to handle stress, it can have a major impact on your blood pressure long term. Now, there's two things that I will suggest for you. The first is there's a book from Dale Carnegie. I think it's like 70 years old. I'll put it right up here. You can see it right here. I'm trying to put it into the picture. And it's called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And this has been a tremendously beneficial book for me personally. If you read it, you have to understand this was written 70 years ago, and people didn't write politically correct 70 years ago. So just take it for what it's worth. However, this is a great book and will help you. It's basically a counselor in a book. It essentially teaches you how to think about your own problems and stop obsessing over what other people think. There's lots of great suggestions in that book. It's on Amazon. I'm an Amazon affiliate, so take that for what it's worth. However, you can benefit a lot by reading this book. What do you have to lose? How much is the book on Amazon? Just look at the link down below, and you can decide that. The second thing that you can start doing is doing deep breathing exercises every single day. I have tons of videos on this on my channel, and if you just take 5 minutes out of your day and do deep breathing, it's almost like hitting Control-Alternate-Delete on your computer. It just resets your stress levels, and you will find that chronically over a period of time, if you do this every day, and you're certainly welcome to do this more often than once a day, but I recommend once a day at least. That's what I do. And you will find that it's like hitting Control-Alternate-Delete on your computer. It just resets your stress levels and lowers your cortisol levels, lowers your mental stress, and then you can go about your day in a much easier way. So stress is a big one and really needs to be part of the program that you have for yourself on how to lower your blood pressure, especially if you've had blood pressure problems for a long period of time. Now let's discuss number 2. Number 2 is the easiest one in theory to do, and that is cardiovascular exercise. Now, I understand that HIIT training, HIIT, high intensity interval training or high intensity training is the rage now. However, if you've been smoking all your life and you have high blood pressure and you're on 6 different medications, high intensity training is not advised. It is not the best way to exercise. You're putting yourself at risk. You don't want to give yourself too much intensity because you can overload your cardiovascular system very easily, have a stroke or heart attack, and then you're no good to anyone. The best type of exercise for cardiovascular health is cardiovascular exercise. That is walking, jogging, running, swimming, cycling, rowing, treadmill, Stairmaster, anything where you bring your heart rate up to a certain level and then maintain it for a period of time. Now, if you're over 55 years old and you're severely out of shape, you may only be able to do cardiovascular exercise for maybe 5 to 10 minutes in the beginning, but that's what you want to do. You want to increase the duration of the exercise, not increase the intensity. So very often you can use a heart rate monitor, or think of exercise as 3 different zones. The zone 1 would be something where you're breathing slightly heavier than normal, but you can somewhat talk. The middle zone is where you're having a little bit of a difficult time talking, but you can kind of put some sentences together. And the third zone is where you're essentially, think of it like sprinting. You can't talk much. You're breathing extremely heavy. You don't want to be in the second or the third zone. You want to be in the first zone and start increasing the duration. And you want to build up to about an hour at least at a time, 3 times a week. That is the bare minimum. And once you start to become a rock star, you start to do it at an hour a day. So if you can do an hour cardio per day, your cardiovascular fitness is going to go through the roof. And in addition to that, you're going to find that your blood pressure is probably going to be as good as it's going to be, genetically speaking. But many people make the mistake of drinking the Kool-Aid and thinking that they can get this high-intensity interval training and benefit their heart better than cardiovascular exercise, and it's just simply not true. The reason why is because of the condition that you're in. High-intensity interval training is promoted basically for people that are already healthy. They don't have 6 different medications that they're taking for high blood pressure, and that is why cardiovascular exercise is the second thing that you need to do. There's so many benefits, and one of the things that happens when you do cardiovascular exercise is it stimulates your body to produce a substance or a gas inside the blood vessels, and that gas is called nitric oxide. And what that does, it dilates and relaxes the blood vessels. And in addition to that, when you exercise, enzymes are produced that reduce the inhibition of that nitric oxide. And what that means is the benefits of the nitric oxide will last about 24 hours, roughly. That's the exact amount of time that most of your blood pressure medications work. So think of cardiovascular exercise as simply another blood pressure medication. Now, the last one, and this is the most controversial, would be changing your diet. If you have a crappy diet and you're eating McDonald's 3 times a day, or just eating things that come out of a box, very processed foods, literally any diet that you follow other than that is going to benefit you. What you'll find if you go on the internet a lot is many people are promoting a vegan diet or vegetarian diet or a Mediterranean diet or an intermittent fasting diet or a keto or a carnivore. There's so many different diets. And essentially, how do you know which one is going to benefit you? Well, in this video, if you've come along with me this far, why don't you put the diet that has helped you the most in the comment section so other people can read it? So if we get 9 out of 10 people that say the keto diet worked for them, then most people that are clueless about which diet to start with may benefit by realizing that the majority of people follow that. If we get 9 out of 10 people to say the vegan diet or vegetarian diet or Mediterranean diet help them with their blood pressure, then it'll help people decide. But ultimately what it boils down to is this, that all the diets promise the same thing. They promise lower blood pressure, lower body fat, lower blood sugars, lower cholesterol. Every diet says that. There isn't a diet that doesn't say those or make those claims. And the reason why is because when you compare a bad diet to any diet, it will actually help you quite a bit. So if you simply don't like vegetables, then a organic, plant-based vegan diet is probably not going to work for you. But if you're eating a bunch of Hungry Man's, packaged boxes, and you're eating potato chips and cookies and pastas and all those things, and you just start eating steaks every day, as silly as that sounds, because steaks are a natural food, you may find benefit in your blood pressure by following that diet. So I have a particular diet that helps me. In particular, it's the Mediterranean diet. And the only reason that I follow that diet and not any other diet is because I feel the best on that diet. My body's physiology is what seems to work well with that diet. And that does not mean that you will benefit from that as well, because your activity levels are different than mine. Our medical histories are different. Our genetics are different, and that plays a big role. So if you find a particular diet that works for you and, lowers your blood sugar, you start to lose weight, you start to feel better, your blood pressure's going down, but it isn't a diet that someone else agrees with, then that's okay, because you'll always find your tribe. But you can lower your blood pressure. It almost doesn't matter what age you are. You can lower your blood pressure for the long term, but you do have to make some lifestyle changes. Some of them are obvious. You're going to have to lose weight. You're going to have to stop smoking. But hopefully these 3 suggestions that I made in this video will help you. If you know someone that has problems with blood pressure and they're getting older and they're kind of giving up, why don't you do me a favor and send them this video? It may encourage them to at least get started. And as always, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, and take your supplements.
Lower blood pressure, enhanced heart health, protect your arteries, improve your energy, improve your bone health, help migraines, chronic pain, and depression, reduce artery stiffness, and better sleep. These are only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the benefits of magnesium. The soil sucks, we don't eat enough organic vegetables, and that is why it's so hard to get enough magnesium in our diet. Now, the supplements that I take are from the video sponsor, Magnesium Breakthrough, and they have a great product that has 7 different types of magnesium in it, all listed right here. Now, when you get all these major forms of magnesium, then your body really starts to improve, and that is when the magic happens. I take 2 tablets at nighttime. It gives me 500 milligrams of magnesium per day, and it really helps me sleep like a baby. There will be a discount code and the link for this type of magnesium down in the description. If you have specific questions in regard to blood pressure, your own health and wellness, we actually do Zoom appointments as well as telephone appointments. We do these Zoom and telephone appointments from all around the world. So you're more than welcome to call our office, schedule an actual Zoom or a telephone consultation with me. And what we're gonna do is we are going to section off a piece of our day just to speak to you and answer all your questions. So if you're interested in that, there's a link down below. You can get to my website and then just contact us. Now, there is a fee for a Zoom or a telephone consultation, so it's not free, but I can promise you this, you're gonna get your money's worth.